Welcome to Beauty and the Biz. Discover how to grow your practice with effective cosmetic patient attraction, conversion, and retention advice from author, speaker, trainer, and cosmetic practice business and marketing coach, Catherine Maley, MBA.
Hello and welcome to Beauty and the Biz, where we talk about the business and marketing side of plastic surgery. I'm your host, Catherine Maley, author of Your Aesthetic Practice, and consultant to plastic surgeons to get them more patients and more profits. And it happens to be mid-August in Sausalito, California, and it's really been quiet. I've been pretty much, we're a virtual company now, and I'm at home all the time, and I'm really tired of it. I miss going to the meetings. I miss speaking. I miss seeing everybody and finding out what's going on. I do know, and of course, I talk to surgeons all over the world, actually. I still talk to you, but it's funny. I can tell things are still very good out there because it's very hard to get a hold of surgeons right now, and that means they're busy and in surgery, so I'm glad for that. But I had a lot more time to talk to surgeons when we were all under lockdown. They were a lot more available. So anyway, I hope all is well with you. And this podcast, I'm going to talk about the word of mouth practice, because a word of mouth referral is the absolute best advertisement you can incorporate into your cosmetic practice. And it's also the cheapest form of advertising that you can invest in, and it takes minimal time and effort. Now, we all know the best patient is a referred patient. So when a friend tells another friend, family member, or colleague about you, isn't that just golden? They're already pre-sold on you. They're not as price sensitive, and they're way more likely to say yes to you and then stay loyal to you. Now, word of mouth referrals will increase your closing ratios, they'll decrease your external marketing costs, and they grow your practice. So, how do you get them? Well, word of mouth referrals don't just happen, or they don't happen enough all on their own. They must be deserved, encouraged, and sought after using creative, subtle methods. Now, of course, you're going to get some referrals from your core group of fans in your practice. Every practice has them, but you want referrals from every patient, not just the chosen few. So you grow your word of mouth referrals by focusing on them. You make word of mouth referrals a priority in your office, and you set up processes and incorporate these strategies. So referrals are going to start with 5-star customer service, because I'm going to give you lots of strategies. Now, the easiest way to get patients talking about you is to actually give them something great to talk about. Offer extraordinary customer service to stand out. Now, of course, you need commitment from your staff to make patient satisfaction your number one priority, because nothing is more important than patient relations if you want to build a referral practice. So, please meet with your staff regularly to ensure they understand the importance of treating each patient with a warm and friendly attitude every time they call or visit your practice. Also, be sure your telephone is answered by the third ring at the latest by a human being. Call back when you say you're going to call back, and don't keep patients waiting. Respect your patients' time and concerns, and they'll brag about you to their friends. Now, let's talk about computer tracking, because you can't really know who your advocates are unless you can track them accurately. Now, it's vital you have a process and computer system that automatically tracks referral sources, so you know who is really referring people and who just says they will, but they never really get around to it. Now, you also want to track who actually books procedures from these referrals. And good computer systems will outline in detail who referred whom and the outcome in terms of revenues generated. Okay, next, you want to talk to your patients. Referrals come from connecting with your patients so they feel cared about as a person first, then as a patient. So before you jump right into the clinical reason they're there to see you, spend a couple of minutes on them as a person. Ask them about their family, their occupation, or anything else that strikes you as interesting from their patient intake form. Now use their name and make eye contact with them. Ask them questions and then let them talk. The point is to bond with them personally first so they know you care about them. Now, when you do it correctly, they're going to relax, they're going to open up to you, and they'll talk more about themselves. And you can learn so much about a patient if you just show you're interested in them. And you'll also be surprised what you learn. Perhaps they're a member of the media, or they're part of a large company who could use your services as an employee perk. Who knows until you ask? So think of it this way. Each of us has an average inner circle of approximately 250 people. Now that includes friends, family, colleagues, neighbors, gym buddies, and so on. If each of your patients told only one person from their inner circle about you, that would double your practice growth. How does that sound? That's why this is so important. Now remember, like-minded people hang around with other like-minded people. So you want your preferred patient to bring their friends to you. But please don't take this for granted. Be sure you tell your patients that you want more patients just like them. And if they send you their friends, family, and colleagues, you promise to take great care of them. The next one is network. I have watched surgeons grow their practices quickly with networking. Remember the adage, it's not what you know, it's who you know? If you're good at networking, you can tap into groups of people who can become your preferred patients. Now, every person you meet should know who you are, what you do, and the services you offer. If nothing else, be sure your business card says it, so you can at least introduce yourself and hand them a card listing your cosmetic services. Now, look at who you know in your community and the service providers you personally use. Perhaps you're friendly with the cosmetic dentist down the hall or other non-competing specialties who would be happy to refer their patients to you and vice versa. Or perhaps your staff regularly visits a certain hair salon, works out at a popular gym nearby, or your office manager goes to a yoga class down the block. You can turn those casual alliances into viable word-of-mouth referral outlets by having your staff hand out their own business cards listing your cosmetic services. They can also introduce you to the owners of the various businesses. If you hit it off, you can give them business cards or customized signage to display in their place of business. And in return, you can give them a special offer to offer their clients, their customers, or their patients. The next one is to get involved in your community. Giving back to your community shows you care and you're a two-way street. So getting involved in a worthy cause makes you feel good and it's good for the community. If you don't have a cause close to your heart and you need to find something, think strategically. For example, if you want to be known as the body doc in your community, perhaps you can offer your services to mommy groups or be a guest on somebody's mommy podcast. Or if they have mommy group fundraisers, get to be part of that. Or if you want to get into the social crowd in your community, work with the socialites in your area that give considerable time and money to fundraising efforts and get to know them. Become part of their group or part of their crowd to build trust, and they'll loyally go to you and send their other like-minded friends to you as well. You also want to use content to spread the word. Content is king on the internet, so produce lots of it for different media channels so your patients can share it with their friends. For example, you can videotape a consultation with a prospective patient talking about, let's say, liposuction, with their permission, of course, and then upload it to YouTube and Vimeo. Then break it down into smaller pieces and upload to Instagram video. It's called IGTV. You can use the video screenshot in your Facebook banner ads that click to the full video with a click here to schedule a complimentary consultation. And there's more. Transcribe the patient consultation and use it for your blog posts, articles, and press releases. Then send an email announcing it to your current patient list and add, share this with a friend. The point is to cross-purpose one piece of content to many different media channels to increase your presence online and then encourage each audience to pass it along to their friends. Another great idea in today's world is to have your own social media booth. Make it fun and easy for your patients to share you with their friends on social media. So order a customized pop-up backdrop with your logo printed on it. Now have it standing in a corner of your office near checkout. The patient can take pictures with you and your staff and videotape a testimonial, and then they can upload it to their Facebook and Instagram pages. Also, educational digital events worth talking about. Prospective patients may have researched, let's say, breast dog online, but they haven't heard you personally describe a breast dog procedure. So grab your iPad and shoot a couple of informal videos explaining in your own words the benefits of the procedure as well as the process, and then answer the FAQs that come up regularly when you're doing breast dog consultations. Now, you can also do an online presentation using Zoom or GoToWebinar with PowerPoint slides explaining procedures, as well as showing a whole bunch of before and after photos, because that's what we cosmetic patients love. We love the before and after photos. And then include a call to action at the end, such as a complimentary consultation because they watch this webinar, and that's what encourages them to take the next step. Now, the beauty of this digital event is you record it and now you repurpose it by adding it to your website, email it to your patient list, and use it for social media posts. Now, here's another tip for growing your cosmetic practice through referrals. You ask. In my book, Your Aesthetic Practice, What Your Patients Are Saying, I asked them why they didn't refer you to their friends. And I kept hearing, I didn't even think about it. So any written communications coming from you should always remind your patients how much you appreciate their referrals. Add the phrase, bring a friend to your invitations, and send this to a friend on your website and internet messages. Add a special note in your blog posts and ads to have an eye-catching reminder sign in your reception area. And have your checkout staff pass a couple of referral cards along with the receipt they hand to the patient for that day's visit. The more your patients are reminded, the more they will remember you when they're talking with their friends about cosmetic rejuvenation. And then, for heaven's sakes, thank your patients. Don't take referrals for granted. You want to thank your patients. However, a boring computer-generated form doesn't cut it. I have to tell you, I had a dentist. I used to live in San Francisco forever, and I had tons of friends. I was very much a little social butterfly before I got serious about business. And I just had so many friends that moved in and out of the area. And my dentist, I used to send so many referrals to my dentist because my friends always asked me, so who should I go to for a dentist? And I would get back that ridiculous computer-generated form that the dentist didn't even know about, and they didn't even sign it. It was ridiculous. I used to be so offended by that, and please don't do that. Anyway, patients want to be appreciated for their trust and acknowledged for their support, so show them thanks. Have your staff call them immediately to thank them, or send a personal handwritten note from you to thank them, or call them yourself to thank them, or send a gift of appreciation. Behavior that is rewarded is repeated. So make a big deal out of how much you appreciate their referral, and I promise more will follow. Now, you could also institute a frequent referral program. Reward, encourage, and acknowledge those special patients who offer multiple referrals. Now, every practice has these special patients who just love them. They visit often. They know the names of the staff's children and what schools they go to. They may live in the same neighborhood. Their kids go to the same school your kids go to, or they go to your health club, or so on. You have a special group of loyal patients who sing your praises all over town. Now, whenever the subject of cosmetic rejuvenation comes up, they're the first to jump in and tell everyone what you've done for them and how happy they are. Don't you just love those patients? We call those your rapid fans. But it's the 80-20 rule. Like everything else in life, 80% of the referrals will come from 20% of those patients. The goal is to get a whole lot more of your other patients sharing you with who they know. Implement a referral program, but do it with caution to stay out of trouble with the medical societies and their fee splitting rules. So just so you know, the medical boards, and I've called so many of them and I never get a straight answer, but here's the straightest answer I've gotten. You just can't pay somebody to encourage another person to have a medical procedure. So there cannot be a tit for tat exchange of money for referrals. That's pretty much what I understand. Now, that's a big reason I came up with the KISS Rewards Club. Your patients get kisses, not money, when they refer, review, and return. So it keeps you out of trouble while growing your practice in a fun, organic way. So in essence, your patients are getting kisses for referrals, and they're collecting those kisses for free cosmetic services. So it's got a beautiful system there that works very nicely. You can visit kissrewardsclub.com to learn more about it. So to wrap this up, here's the golden rule reminder. Patients have to be truly happy and satisfied with the result, as well as the service they receive from you, to brag about you to their friends and family. So please be sure every single patient has a wow patient experience every time they're in contact with you, your staff in your office, and watch your referrals grow. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and I sure would love for you to subscribe to Beauty and the Biz, because I'd love to keep in touch with you. And if you feel so kindly, I'd love for you to give me a 5-star review. And then, of course, please give me your feedback or any topics you'd like me to cover. You can leave me a message on my website at catherinemaley.com, or you can DM me at Instagram at Catherine Maley MBA. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk again soon.
We hope you found valuable insight on this episode of Beauty and the Biz. For more episodes, tools, and Catherine's free book, visit www.catherinemaley.com. That's www.catherinemaley.com. And be sure to subscribe to get the latest practice building strategies delivered to you. And don't forget to share this Beauty and the Biz podcast with your staff and colleagues.